Hello everyone, Gaku here. Quick war room video. My last one for this campaign actually. My schedule's changed a bit, so I won't be able to finish this campaign. Won't be able to play on Saturdays, at least for a few weeks. And we'll have to sit out the Sunday games as well, although we'll be continuing with the Equestria games. So, let's see. This was the end of the last session that I played where Germany and I took a big chunk out of Russia. I believe Crimea was being transferred to UK, and we had a grand coalition that formed between UK, Scandinavia, Germany, Austria-Hungary, Ottomans, Persia, and I think that was it. Spain, maybe? I don't recall at this point. Anyway, the session following, I was not able to make it, had a sub, and as I understand they did pretty well, but anyway, this is the state of the game as it was at the end of the session. Mexico reduced to one state. USA beginning to expand into South America, and Russia practically falling apart. Of course, the partitioning of India was thwarted, so UK managed to keep that, and in return, of course, our side of that crisis lost a bit of prestige, but in the end, our ally was kept strong. So Japan's sort of gone his own way. I don't recall what his position was at the time. I think he was sort of leaning our way, but anyway, he's got his own plans at this point. So I would say at this point, doing pretty well. But let's jump ahead a bit and see what the game looks like at 6 years after the fact. So the following session only went for about 6 years, 7 years, something like that. And we can see some substantial changes have taken place. Now, Austria-Hungary looks like has made no real changes, which is pretty much what I expected. I left instructions for my sub to simply help out with the alliance because I thought it'd be a good time to drop some infamy, and there wasn't really any point in doing anything else. I think he took Bhutan. I'm not sure what happened there. I don't think I had that previously. But anyway, there was a war against Russia, as I understand it, and Germany clearly expanded into the Moscow area. Austria-Hungary, no changes. I believe this was acquired by the Ottomans, so there must have been a war against Russia, and things up here, the Allies won that quite easily. Now, the problem came with the defense of Spain, so you see UK is having some issues here, and this is just what I've pieced together in talking to people. This might not be 100% accurate, but I believe what happened is France decided to declare war on Spain, and Spain being part of the alliance, we were obligated to defend Spain. So everyone jumped in to defend Spain, and there was no real feasible way to get troops to Spain. The only nation with any sort of navy was the UK, and I think what they did was just immediately peace out. And the idea was if you surrender, the opposing side can only add 20% war score. So Gurn just explained to me what happened. That is, after the first war in which Spain was attacked and the coalition surrendered, there were 3 containments against the UK. And after those containments were in place, 2 of them remained in effect even after the USA truce broke and then attacked the UK again. So USA took a hit for that, prestige hit, but this allowed them to go after UK with no navy and no army, and allowed them to take back all of their cores. So let's see what happened next. After that war, as part of the surrender, USA imposed a 4th containment against the UK. And due to the multiple containments, plus the losses in so many wars, UK has just been wrecked by rebels since then. There was a break of the UK due to rebels, and when the UK broke, that reset their truces. So they became the Workers' Commonwealth, which is apparently not the same as ENG tag, something like that, which means they no longer had any truces with anyone, so USA declared war on them a 3rd time and took the Highlands, and after that more rebels spawned. There was a crisis for Ireland in which everyone dogpiled into the opposing side. Ireland was freed, and then rebels released the rest of Scotland, which Gurren attacked and annexed. And there have also been, I believe, a few little minor issues down in this area. So, let's see. And basically, this is kind of the end of the UK. And in exchange for allowing the UK to survive, the following transfers are being made at the start of the next session. That is, all of Scotland is being transferred back to the UK. The UK is transferring practically everything it has in Africa to the USA. And I'm not even sure I can find all these, but let's see, go down the list. South Cameroon, North Cameroon, I think it's down here somewhere. Where's Cameroon? Okay, North Cameroon, South Cameroon, Niger Delta, Hausaland, Dahomey, Ghana. Is that over here somewhere? Where's Ghana? Where's Ghana? Come on. Okay, I don't know where Ghana is, but you can find it. Ghana, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea, Gambia, which I believe is down here somewhere. There's Gambia. Okay, I don't know. Well, wherever Gambia happens to be. Morocco, Surcars, I have no idea where that is, and British Lesser Antilles. All of that is being given to the USA by the UK. In exchange, USA and UK agree to a defensive alliance, and basically the USA will be defending the UK for the rest of the game. USA will not defend Ireland, which allows the UK to potentially take them back, and I think that's the expectation there. So, fairly minor penalties for breaking the treaty, but I don't see why the USA would want to break it because they get so much out of it. So, basically they wrecked the UK and then took them on under their wing in exchange for everything they had to give away. Let's see what else. As far as treaties, Persia transfers Formosa, high population there, and Persian North Borneo, which I think is right here, Persian North Borneo, to the USA. Persia and USA have a defensive alliance till the end of the game. Persia must give access to USA and whoever USA wants to have access. Penalty for breaking treaty, etc., etc. Okay, so basically Persia and USA are now allied. Let's see, who else? The coalition has broken apart, as I mentioned. There's a Treaty of Morelia, which is USA agrees to a non-aggression pact with Scandinavia. And that's pretty much it, except they're transferring Morelia, which I have no idea where that is. Where the hell is Morelia? Is this Morelia? Let's find out. Where's Morelia? Oh, okay, so they're transferring this little bit of Mexico to the USA, which kind of makes sense. And they'll have a non-aggression pact. Alright, what else? There's an American Union which is formed, which basically solidifies the alliance between Canada and USA. And everything else is kind of up in the air. So what does this leave for the coalition, for Austria-Hungary and others in the game? Well, it means that the opposing coalition, which has formed a coalition in response to the one that we had, has pretty well won, and it's just a matter of how much more they can take back before the end of the game. If they use the Gurren strategy, I'm guessing that Germany will lose pretty much everything it has in Russia. If they don't, then Germany might get to keep some of it, but in any case, it's going to be a string of massive losses. I don't know what the Ottomans are going to do. Chances are people will leave the Ottomans alone unless they decide to back up Germany and Austria-Hungary, in which case they'll be sort of the least important of the different nations that people are trying to knock down. Let's see what else. France did a pretty great job against Spain. I don't know what Spain's going to do. My guess is that Spain's going to buddy up with France just so they can stay alive for the rest of the game, because if they don't, they're going to get slowly destroyed. And there's no real penalty for going over infamy at this point because the other coalition has that to their advantage. So the only people The only person who's completely over infamy right now, or way over infamy that I know of, is UK. UK's allied with the USA. But if anyone on the opposing side goes over infamy, there's no reason for anyone to try to contain them because they're all on the same side, and really on our side we've all lost so much power that there's no way that could possibly work. So what do I see happening? USA is going to continue with its expansions. Pretty sure they have no regard for infamy. Yeah, you can see they're over right now. They're going to keep going over, and they'll probably just keep declaring wars until the end of the game, taking whatever they can. Anyone who decides to stand up against them is going to get crushed. So everyone's going to try to buddy up with the USA, as we've seen through treaties. Everyone on the other side of the coalition has already done that. On the other side, USA can join in whichever wars it wants to back up. However, it feels like, and chances are, if anyone makes a promise to USA, for example, you get a state, you get a colony, you get whatever, USA is going to join in. They're going to take whatever they feel like. They don't care about infamy. So goodbye Austro-Hungarian Asia. That's going. India's probably going soon. That might go to rebels. Who knows? Persia is trying to stay neutral, stay alive at this point. Ottomans are fairly safe, I think. So the people in danger are, again, Germany and Austria-Hungary. Germany is going to be the main target because it has all of the highest pop areas in Russia. So it's going to be the target of all of the wars from now until the end of the game. Fantastic. So France will be coming in, Soviets will be coming in, and USA has no reason to even bother keeping troops at home, so it can just land all of its troops in France, Soviet Union, and as soon as war starts, march them in and keep piling in more troops until the war ends, and then they can truce break, do the same thing over again, keep going over and over and over, and there's no real end to it. So let's see. Austria-Hungary, same basic idea. Austria-Hungary is definitely going to lose all of its Russian cores. Chances are Slayzer is going to push to keep going until it loses all of its Italian cores as well, which means pretty close to my prediction it's going to be left with a little more than Hungary at the end of the game. Any way to counteract that? Not really. Bide for time, I guess. Keep wars dragging on as long as possible and don't surrender, maybe. Because there's a time limit and the game will end in, 20 years or so. So the longer wars take, the less we stand to lose. But every single war is going to be a great war, because if we're on the same side, there's going to be at least two great powers on the other side, which means at minimum we're going to be cut down to size, and we're also going to lose a lot more for a lot less infamy than we would otherwise. So really, this is not going to go well for us. And I'm pretty sure there's some vendettas that are going to be acted upon, and we're going to be destroyed. So, good game. Now, unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to play anyway, but I don't see that my score is going to be maintained to the end of the game. So, what could be done? Well, now would be a good time to start coming up with treaties. Trying to find some other friends to ally with, because clearly UK can't help Austria-Hungary in any way. Germany would be a really great ally, but a dangerous one, so now would be the time to start getting naps with everyone. But honestly, I don't care, because I won't be finishing the campaign. If I had been finishing the campaign, I would have done that a week ago, but that clearly is not the case. So, congratulations to Scandinavia for doing much better than they probably should have, of course with the help of the coalition. Ottomans got back a lot of their cores, Persia got back some of its. I don't think the Soviets are going to go after Persia or the Ottomans. This land's not really worth it to Russia, but of course this area is, so it's going to push in. France wants its land back, and Slayzer will not stop until he's gotten everything and then some, so he's going to keep going. And Gurin's just going to try and do practically a world conquest, I imagine. He's just going to keep going. So, let's see. Now's a good time to sort of reflect on things that have happened.